Audio Jungle.
Okay, hi everyone. All right. So today, the slide will be quite simple. The whole presentation, there will be a lot of numbers. So do stop me when you feel like you cannot catch up because the numbers, they are connected to each other. So if you lost yourself in one part, you might not understand the next part. So just unmute yourself and stop me whenever you feel like you need to. So I was talking to Henry what I should share, and then after that we decided that we share something about starting the practice. So there are some disclaimer. I just started my practice. I'm building it up, but here are something that I learned throughout the process up to this moment. Okay. So today we're going to talk about mindset because in my opinion, mindset is very important when we start the practice. And my mindset has changed a little bit throughout the process. So I'll share what I've learned. So later if we have more time, I'll give you a live tour of the clinic, but this is how my clinic looks like. It's called Quest Dental. Officially, we started last October, right? Up to now, it's about 6-7 months, about half a year, right? So this is the inside. I think some of you have been to my clinic before. This is the waiting area. And then we have a piano. This is a meeting room or consultation room. And then this is surgery, right? So let's get started. Basically, after you graduate, you probably have two choices. Either you want to work for somebody or you want to be your own boss. You want to start a clinic. So the first part of this presentation, we will talk about this, right? We start from employee. So there's a number here, US dollar 5,000. So the whole presentation, I try to use it in US dollar because in Cambodia, I think this is your currency. But throughout the presentation, the numbers are the number I sort of get from Henry and also some other friends. Might not be totally accurate, but then just for the sake of discussion, right? So 5,000 USD. Let's say you work for somebody, you are an employee, you work for somebody, and then for that particular month, your sales is 5,000 USD, right? Means throughout the month, your total collection is 5,000 USD. And I understand that in Cambodia, it's very similar to Malaysia. You have basic salary and you also have commission. But correct me if I'm wrong, so that everyone can follow. So let's say your commission is 30%, right? So your sales is 5,000, your commission is 30%, so your income would be 1,500 USD, right? As an employee. So this is your income. So what happens if you are an employer, right? What happens if you started a clinic? So when you start a clinic, this chart will appear again and again in the presentation. So let's get familiarized with it. So when you start a clinic, if you are solo, means the whole clinic, you are the only dentist. These are the things you have to pay, right? So let's say for sake of discussion, rental, you are paying about 1,000 plus USD for rental. Probably it's lower, I'm not sure. But let's, for the sake of discussion, your rental will be 1,000 plus. So when you start a business, most likely you're going to have loan or you do some leasing to buy instrument and buy equipment. So every month you have to pay back the loan. So let's say you have to pay back 2,000 USD, right? And then if you have one dentist, you probably need 2 staff. So each staff, you're paying about 500, more or less you adjust to your country's number, right? So let's say it's 2 staff for 1,000 USD. And then you need your Wi-Fi, utilities, water bill, electricity bill, and some other clinic expenses like you need to buy stationery, some marketing fee. Just lump it out as other clinic expenses, probably higher. And then we don't know. We don't know at the moment. We don't know because you need to have money left, then you can pay yourself. If you don't have money left, that month you are not going to get any salary, right? So in total, you probably need about close to 5,000 USD to run the practice every month. Okay? So far it's clear. Please stop me when you feel like you're losing yourself, right? It's very important. So every month you need about 4,000, close to 5,000 to run the clinic. Now let's say we put it, you are the only dentist in the clinic. Yeah. Let's say you are the only dentist in the clinic. Hey, can you see the laser pointer, Henry? Henry?
Can see.
Can see, yeah? Okay. So let's say we take the scenario like before. You are the dentist, your sales is 5,000, right? This is the money going into your clinic. And these are the money you have to pay to run the clinic. So basically that month, your salary will be only 250 USD because there's no money left after you pay all the things. So you only have 250 USD left, right? So compared to before, if you're working for somebody, your sales is 5,000, you actually get 1,500 USD a month. But then if you are an employer, you actually only get 250, right? And as an employee, your only thing to do is to see patient. This is your only responsibility. You only see patient, and then you will get 1,500. But as an employer, as a boss, you have to do all this, or maybe even more. You have to see patient, you have to hire people, you have to do marketing, you have to buy and sell, buy instrument, purchasing, and then you have to do your accounting, you have to do training. By doing so many things, your income is only this, right? So now the first big question is when you decide to start a clinic, you have to understand why you want to start a clinic. There are many reasons. Everybody has different reasons. Some people think that it's going to make money. Some want to leave a legacy, want to build something big. I don't know, right? So the first step of starting a clinic, you really have to understand why you're going to start a clinic. If the reason why you want to start a clinic is because you don't like your current job, that does not justify for you to open a clinic. Because if you don't like your current job, the immediate solution is to find a better job, right? Because to start a clinic, there are a lot more things to think about. So here are some summary I wrote down is starting a clinic is a very personal thing. It comes from yourself. You have to know that why you're going to start a clinic, right? It's a personal thing that involves many other people. So your why, it should be very unique because only you know why you're going to start a clinic. But you have to be really clear why you're going to start a clinic. And most of the time, the journey starts from a simple thought. It's just like, oh, maybe I want to start a clinic. And along the way, you will start influencing other people to join your journey, whether you're a nurse, your partner, or other dentists. So you need to let them believe your why. If yourself is not clear about why you are starting a clinic, it's very hard for you to convince other people to join you, right? So at that time, your why will also be called your vision, okay? So at the same time, you're constantly being influenced by others, right? So as you go along, you keep telling people why you want to start this clinic, then you have people tell you some negative thing. So at that time your vision becomes extremely important, because your vision will guide you to prevent you from diverting from your path. So you stick to your vision. So vision, if you're not clear, it's very easy for you to divert from your path. And then when storms arrive, and it always does, when you start the clinic, there will be challenges, there will be failure. Your vision will be the anchor of your belief. It will be the final reason for you to continue to carry on, right? If you don't have a vision, it's very, very easy to quit. You will get very depressed, okay? So it's cliche, but it's extremely important. So this is the first thing that you have to take note if you're going to start a clinic. So with that saying, like just now we say, oh, as a boss, you have to do a lot of things and you collect very little money. As an employee, you only need to see patient and you make a lot of money, make more money compared to a boss. So does that mean that the bosses doesn't make money? It's actually no. The bosses do make money in a certain way. So if you become a boss, there are ways to make money. So we go back to the chart just now. Hey, so far got any question? Let's 10 seconds if you see any question. If any question, just unmute yourself and shout out, right? So if no, then we continue. So this is the chart just now, right? So let's tweak it a little bit. So let's say the dentist sales is 5,000, right? So the salary that you're supposed to pay out to the clinic supposed to pay the dentist would be 1,500. So your monthly expenses will become 6,000 plus. So in the other word, in that month, your clinic is actually making a loss. Means the clinic is losing about 1,000 plus ringgit, right? But what happened if we have another dentist coming in? So if another dentist is also doing as well, they are doing 5,000 or so. So your monthly income for the clinic will become 10,000. And because you have another dentist, so probably you have to hire another nurse. So your expenses will go up. So from 1,000, it become 1,500. And because you have two dentists, so you have to pay the dentist salary is higher, you have to double it. So it will be 3,000. So now your expenses has become 8,000 plus. But then if you see overall in the clinic, your clinic is starting to make a profit when you have dentists. It's because it doesn't matter you have one dentist, two dentists, the debt is the same. The rental is the same. Most likely the utility is the same. They might increase a little bit, but not very significant. So let's see if we have another dentist with three dentists, your income will be, three dentists perform the same. Means three dentists, they all doing 5,000 each. So the income will become, the revenue will become 15,000. And then here, of course, there are some adjustment. Most likely, the two nurses, you have 5 nurses. So here, increase in 1,000. And then your salary will be 4,500. So your expenses will become 10,000 plus. But in this scenario, the expenses raise up, but your clinic actually making more profit, right? So this is the summary. So if let's say one dentist, every dentist is making, is collecting 5,000 each. So every month your clinic is losing money. But when you have two dentists, your clinic is making a profit. When you have three dentists, your clinic is making more profit, right? So this part, what I'm trying to say is, nowadays I believe that dentistry is about team. You need to have a team. And all the team member has to perform. If they don't perform, then it doesn't matter. But if you have a strong team that everybody is performing, then the clinic will be growing. The clinic will make more money, right? So the next thing is patient. When we talk about starting a clinic, what keeps the clinic going is only two things. It's the staff and the customer. If you have these two things, I think the clinic will be okay. If you don't have the thing, you have a customer, but you don't have the team to see it, it won't work. If you have a fantastic team, but you don't have customer, it won't work either. So these two things have to come together, right? So let's talk about a little bit about customer. So let's say we set the target. We want to get to 3 dentists. Every dentist making 5,000 so that the clinic is making a good profit. So let's say this is our target, right? And let's say this is where we want to get 3 dentists, 5,000 each every month. So the total for the clinic will be 15,000. And then all 3 of them is working in this clinic called Empowering Dentistry Dental Clinic, right? So if let's say the whole clinic, all 3 dentists only sitting in the clinic and wait for patient, so they wait for walk-in. So let's say 3 dentists, they wait for walk-in, there will be probably 100 patients every month, and each of them let's spend 75 USD. By doing this, you can't really get to this goal, right? Because there's not enough patients for 3 dentists. If let's say all the dentists is waiting in the clinic. But let's say in the other scenario, we still do the walk-in, we still have the walk-in, we wait for the walk-in, but while waiting for the walk-in, every dentist bring in 50 patients every month. Then we are talking about achieving this goal. So when we hire a dentist or when we work for somebody as an employee, if we sit in the clinic and wait for walk-in, we are not going to make very far. We all should have our patients, right? So that we achieve the goal. So this is what I mean, that if you hire a dentist, you have a group of dentists. Dentists cannot just wait in the clinic. Dentists have to find and collect their own patients. Okay, let's take a short break. So far, any question or not at the moment? Let me quickly go through the videos. Okay, so far it's okay. I hope lah. Alrighty. So just now we talk about a little bit about the numbers of the clinic. Those are very important because the numbers will come back again in the later slides. So, yeah.
How about you can know that the dentist could be make their own customer to bring for your clinic? How
Before you hire them? Before you hire them?
Yep.
In my opinion, it depends on the clinic you want to build. The way that I would like to build my clinic is everybody work in a clinic is a very important team member. It's like getting people into a family. So not every family. So the hiring process means the way you hire people has to be a bit different. For example, when the next person that's going to join Quest Center probably will be Alan. So I knew Alan for a long time, and we worked together in a lot of projects. So throughout the process, I get to know what sort of character he is. So if you are serious in building a strong team, you also have to spend a lot of time in identifying who is good, who is bad, and you spend time with them before they graduate. This is like football team, like Manchester United. They don't just simply get a player. They train the player from very young. So if you are serious to look for a very good member, let's say 2 years later you need a person already, now you already have to start looking for the person and training the person. Of course, yourself also have to behave in a certain way. If you want the dentist to look for their own patient, you also have to look for your own patient so that you can teach the dentist how to look for their own patient, right? So we are not talking about just taking somebody in. We are talking about identify somebody, training them, cultivating them, bring them to your practice, let them watch your work, and then spend time talking with them. Then only you would know. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Alrighty. Any more so far? No, huh? So move on. So the next we're going to talk a little bit about the nature of dentistry. This is the belief that I have. Everyone has their different belief, but I'm just going to share what I believe dentistry is all about, right? So in dentistry, we are treating the people, we are not treating the teeth. A very good example is, I think everyone, not everyone, most of the people doesn't like to treat kids. They don't like to treat children. But is it because children, their case, is it because children extraction is very difficult to do? Or is it because the filling for the kids is very difficult to do? I don't think so, because extraction for primary teeth is very easy. The difficult part is treating the kids because they don't like you, because they don't want to open their mouth. So these are the difficult part. The actual procedure, if the patient is like a hippopotamus, you just open the mouth big, it's very easy to treat. So in dentistry, a big part is about treating the person. You have to build the trust, they have to trust you, they have to believe what you say, they have to let you do the treatment. Okay? This is one of the nature that I think not all of us is. So the second thing is, because of that, relationship is the key, right? You have to have good relationship with your patients so that they trust, they let you do a treatment. And in case all of us have some bad day and then we do something bad happen, the treatment doesn't work. If you have a good relationship with the patients, they probably will forgive you and they even let you try another round to fix it. So relationship is key. Be it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Peter, you have to mute your mic. If not, we are going to hear your conversation. Okay, so relationship is the key. You have to have good relationship with the patient, and you also have to have good relationship with your team, and also the supplier, and also the lab, and the technician. Everybody that you are dealing with, you have to have good relationship. This is probably the same in almost any other business, right? Now, this is interesting. The value of a dentist. Most of the time, dentists believe that our value is determined by our skill. Most of the time we believe that. I actually, to a certain extent, I disagree with it. I'll give you an example. Let's say if I am the best implant surgeon, even better than Pierre Room, I'm the best implant surgeon in the world. I can do fantastic implant. But if I have no patient to let me do, my implant skill is wasted, right? Whereas Pierre Room, probably in this scenario, Pierre Room probably not the best implant surgeon, but Pierre Room is seeing many patients. So his implant skill is valuable. So with this example, I believe that the value of a dentist is determined by the quality and the quantity of the patient, right? If you have the patient that needs to do implant and wants you to do implant, then your implant skill is a value to you. If you don't have the patient that wants to do an implant, then your implant skill is wasted, right? If let's say one of the day, maybe 100 years later, science has become so advanced. Everybody, when they were born, they give an injection to them by the doctor, and they will never have caries in their whole life. So that day, dentists will have no value at all, right? So I believe that scale is very important, but it's a potential to help us to increase our value. But our value is determined by the quality and the quantity of our patients. Well, I'll talk about a little bit more about quality and quantity later on. So, and in my opinion, for a long run, quality is more important than quantity. Of course, you need a certain number of patients to keep yourself surviving, but quality of the patient in the long run is always more important than quantity, right? So here are two types of patient I put down just to let you know to highlight what do I mean by quality. You have some patients that come to you, they do filling, and then they're gone. You never see them again, right? So those are the one-time patient. And then you have some patient, they will follow you. Even you quit working in this clinic, you go to another place, they will follow you because they like you. They will keep coming back and they will send patient to you. So here are the two very distinct patients. So on the one-time patient, you probably get it from social media, discount, promotion. They come because they walk past and then they saw you, then they walk in, right? And they usually come in for once and you never see them again. And then in general, for this kind of patient, you need very short time. You don't really need to build relationship because they come in, they say, oh, I got a hole, I need to do filling. And then you do a filling, you never see them again, right? And it's usually quite easy to acquire. Means if you open at the right place, people walk past, they come in and do it and then they go. So it's very straightforward, right? Whereas if you have a fan, like the celebrity, they have a fan that follow them, usually they get to know you through somebody. Somebody recommend them to you, right? And then in general, they require longer appointment time because you need to cultivate them, you need to gain the trust, you want to build a relationship. It's probably require longer time to make somebody to become your fans. And then it takes time to acquire and condition because not every day you are making a new friend. So you need to spend a lot of time with them. You need to provide really good service so that they like you. And then you need to condition them. You have to start telling them they have to come back every 6 months for scaling instead of whenever they're pain on it, they come to see you. Those take time to cultivate the patients to become a fans. And then they probably, when they become your fans, they will stick with you wherever you go. And then they will come for their regular checkup because they believe what you say. When you tell them that, oh, you have to come every 6 months, they will come if they already become your fans, right? And on top of that, they will promote you because they like you. And when they see their friends or relatives, when they need a dentist, they will recommend those people to you. And when they recommend to you, they have more trust in you than any other patients, right? So let's put these two groups into a chart, like a number to see. So now on top we have the one-time patients. Below we have the fans, right? And then there are 3 periods. One is first 6 months, means 1 to 6 months, and then 7 to 12 months, another 6 months, and then 13 to 18 months, right? So for the sake of discussion, just a rough number. Let's say every month you are getting 100 new patients, this type of patient, the one-time patient, right? So over 6 months, you get 600 patients. Then the next 6 months, you get another 600 patients. And the third 6 months, you get another 600 patients, right? So over this 1.5 years, you will see probably about 1,800 patients. And let's say each of them spend 25 USD. Your collection will be 45,000. So far, okay, huh? If not okay, please stop me. Huh? So this is for the one-time patient because they come one time and then they go. And then they come one time and then they go. And then a new one come one time and then they go. So this is the result. But let's say we talk about fans. Fans, as we say just now, is harder to get. You need to spend more time to get. So probably you only get 50. Instead of 100, you get 50. But you spend time to cultivate them to make them into your fans. So over 6 months, you get about 300 as compared to 600, right? So for the next 6 months, you probably will get another 300 new one. But then remember, we say that the old fans will keep following you. So they will come again in 6 months time. So we have 300 here. And we also say, if somebody become your fans, they will recommend people to you. Not all of them, but let's say half of them. So half of them refer one patient to you. So this is the patient you see in the second month, right? And then you treat all of them well, you keep them, you give them good service, you cultivate them, make all of them also become your fans. So in the third month, you will still get your 300 fans, new fans, and all of this will become your follower again, your old fans. And all of them will also refer people to you, right? In this case, although we started with half of the number, but over time, we're actually seeing more patients and above. We are seeing about 2,400 as compared to 1,800, right? And same is, if let's say each of them spending about 25 USD, you're actually collecting more over a longer period of time, right? So I hope you get the idea. So let's push it another 6 months. This is what happened if we push it another 6 months. So again, on top, you get 600 patients. Lower, the same, you get 300 patients, and all of this will become your regular patient, and all of this, once in a while, they refer case to you. So on top, over 2 years, you get about 2,400. And then each of them spend 25 USD, you get about 60,000 collection. Whereas for the lower, over 2 years, you'll be accumulating and seeing close to 5,000. And you'll be making about 120,000. The number might not be accurate, but the idea is if you focus on building relationship and the patient keep coming back and coming back and coming back, over time, you will grow. Your collection will be higher. The number of patients following you will be higher, right? So it seems like just now we talk, it's more like a business, but then if you are getting a commission, although you're an employee, although you are working in the clinic, if you are getting a commission, you are actually running your own business. Because the more you do, the more you get, right? This is the mindset I need you to drill into your brain. Because if you think that you are working in a clinic, and then you're sitting in the clinic and then waiting for the clinic to give you patients, you are not going to get very far. If we are getting a commission, we have to find our own customer. And the way to find customer, especially you want to get good quality customer, I think the best way is still networking. And I guess, let's see the list. I guess all of you has heard about me talking about networking. So today we are not going to go through that again, but as long as you get a commission, you are running your own business. No one is responsible for your sales. No one is responsible to give you patient. You are the one that you have to get your own patient, because those patients that you get are those patients that is going to follow you. If you change job, they will follow you. You don't need to start from zero again. But if you are getting patient from the clinic, once you leave the clinic, you lose the patient. You have to start building from zero again. So think long term. This is extremely important. It's a mindset that I've been keep trying to introduce to a lot of dentists. Okay. Right. Let's take another break. So far, any question? Let me go through. Oh, Henry.
You were talking about having fan versus one-time patient, right?
Yeah.
Many new patients often come as first-time patient. How can you turn one-time patient into your fan?
The best person to ask is actually Peter.
Peter Day, we need help.
It's very, of course, when the patient come in and then just now the two example is very extreme example, a one-time patient and the fans. Of course, there are some gray area where you can change, where you can turn a patient into a lifetime patient. But the reason why I show that is because when you start a clinic, you have to decide what sort of clinic you want to start. Are you going for a volume clinic, means you keep seeing new patient and then send them off, seeing new patient, send them off? Or you're trying to build a quality clinic with quality patient? So if you decide to go that way, your service will be very different. Your follow-up will be very different. Your marketing will be very different, right? So with all these things together, you are trying to make everybody walk through your door to become a fan of your clinic. Basically, it's branding. Peter, you have anything to add on? Dr. Tay? Okay, never mind. Alrighty. Any other question? Any other question? Let's go through the slide again. Let's go through.
Wait, let me have one question.
Sure.
Do you hear me?
Yeah,
okay,
I hear
so
you.
From your standpoint, is that to recruit the dentist who will be able to stay with us for a long time, right? Because otherwise we will patient from the boss points of view. So what do you make it? So how do you, so let's say that the dentist is very good at communications. So if we cannot keep the dentist for a long time, so we will otherwise lose the customer as well. So how do you make it? So what is your strategy against this one?
Although when you start the clinic, you have a vision, you're hiring certain type of dentist, right? But everybody join your practice for a different reason. You have to find the reason out. Let's say you have a 45 years old married lady join your practice, 2 kids. Probably what she want is flexibility. She need to take care of the house, and then she need to take care of the kids. So in that sense, you have to give what they want within a reasonable negotiation, right? So for example, another dentist come in is, let's say Pierum come in. Pierum is just graduated. He's very interested in implant. So probably he joined your practice is because he wants to see a lot of implant patient. Probably at that point, money is not the most is important, but also important. You want to learn. So probably then you have to put in something to give him a mentor, or give a subsidy for him to attend courses so that he can perform better. So everyone joined the clinic very differently. Now they have very different reasons. As a boss, we have to find out what it is, right? Of course, we can decide, oh, this person is asking too much. Like Pierre, he wants to go for courses 6 days a week. He only want to work for 1 day. Then it cannot, right? So there are the negotiation going on. But the key is you need to know what they want, and then you give it to them so that they have no reason to leave. And I think there are time, myself haven't experienced that, but the place I worked before has gone through that when I was working in the other clinic. You might be doing a lot of things, good thing to the dentist. you still will get people who are leaving. So as a boss, you have to be prepared for that. Right? Does that answer your question?
Yes, very clear. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks. Any other? 5, 4, 3, 2.
Me, I want one question.
Yeah.
According to your said on the previous slide, talking about the dentist we recruit with the one dentist just work for our own customer and another dentist work for they can find their own customer for treating at our clinic. How do you think that they will? It means that I think that they will not stand work for us for a long time as we expect. But so that when they leave our clinic, they mean that they leave our clinic to working for us, and then they will bring some their customer because of the customer fan will the kind of the customer that the dentist found for work in clinic is a kind of fan customer, right?
Yeah.
So that how to manage this situation that will be happen at the future since the dentist will be living on your dental clinic.
I think this is just one of the risks. When you start the clinic, these are bound to happen sometime. So the question is not the question would be not what to do, right? The question is how to reduce, like prevent. If let's say one clinic have 10 dentists, we want to reduce the number of the dentists leaving us, right? And you also have to be fair to the dentist, right? So if the dentists come in, they see some patient is from the clinic doing marketing. Like the patient come in because they see the marketing, and then the clinic will assign the patient to the dentist. Then, in my opinion, the patient belong to the clinic, unless the patient fall in love with the dentist, right? So, but let's say the other group of patient is brought in by the dentist, like you say, their friends, their relative. So I believe those patients belong to the dentist, unless the patient choose to stay in the clinic, right? So now it's very clear. This patient belong to the clinic, and this patient belong to dentist, right? So now as a boss, our question is not thinking on how to keep the patient. Of course, we can do the branding so well that the patient love the clinic more than the dentist, so that they will stay. So the question is not so much about how to keep the patient. The question is how to keep the dentist. So as I say, as we briefly go through just now, everybody joined the clinic for a different reason. I think if a dentist who is so comfortable and the management is very well, it's very there are very few reasons that he want to leave the practice. So that is the place that I, as a boss, I would like to be. So I would try my best to make that happen so that my dentist doesn't leave. So one of the strategy that you can do is, if let's say the dentist is seeing the patient come from the clinic, they get a lower percentage of commission. But if they bring their own patient, they get a higher percentage, right? So that could be one of the way to keep the dentist and encourage the dentist to bring in their patient. And on the boss standpoint, it's also, you don't lose anything if you put the percentage right. Because even if you give them a higher percentage, you save on your marketing cost because the patient is brought in by the dentist. You don't need to do marketing to bring in the patient. It's basically the dentist is doing the marketing and bringing the patient to the clinic. So you can afford to give a little bit more percentage for that kind of patients.
What important thing that you are talking about is about the internal marketing, right?
Yeah.
And I have one idea about keeping the dentist, so that not make sure that dentist A should be kept or not, because of everything is changing day by day. Everything is changing here, and then for me, it's important. It's about the foundation education system in clinic.
Yes.
Because of when the other, it means that dentists going out to the clinic or living clinic, we have to do new generation to replace this.
Yes. Correct. So that is very true. I actually learned this a lot from Dr. Tay. One of the things he said is nobody, including yourself, but replace. You can need to prepare a pipeline that if this person leaves, somebody will take over. So you have to always have a PRM, so you have to have a education system. You always have somebody is coming in. Peter, you have anything to add?
No, it's okay. Let's continue.
Okay. So let's continue. So far, we talk a little bit about the vision, why you want to start a clinic. And then we talk about you need to have a team. Then we talk about you need to have customer. What sort of customer, why customer is important. So now let's go to the last part, which is the money. How much do you need to start? How do you find out that how much you need to start a clinic? Every clinic is very different. Of course, then the money you need is very different. But I came up with a sort of a summary version of roughly you know how much you're going to need to start, right? So there's something called the setup fund. Setup fund means the money you need to put up the clinic, not to run it, just to put up a clinic, not every month. So the startup. So basically there are three main things. The first thing is the premises. You need to have a shop. Where are you going to open, right? You need to have a place to set up your clinic. So for the premises, you need to know how, at this point, you need to know how much is the down payment. Sometimes if you are going to buy a clinic, how much you need to pay for the place, to get the place. We are not talking about the mortgage yet, but the down payment, the first payment. And if you want to rent a place, usually the first month they will collect about 3 month rental from you as a deposit. So you need to know how much is the deposit, right? So that will go into part of your startup setup fund. Then you need to come up with a list what you need to buy, and that will come to your clinical side or non-clinical side. Clinical side is your dental chair, your x-ray, your sterilization, anything, your material, anything that you need to buy to start a clinic, right? And then non-clinical side is your furniture, your renovation and all the other stuff, right? So this will add into a setup fund. And also you need to have a company to hold a clinic. So there will be some cost, probably not that high compared to the first two. So you need a cost to set up a company. So this basically is your setup fund. Means you need this money to set up a clinic, not even to run it, just to set up on it, right? So you need to find this out. And these are the list of things that you probably have to make and then go through. I can't go through every detail on this today, but this is the overview of it, right? Then you need to know your monthly expenses, right? Just now we are talking about setting up. Then you need to run it. So your monthly expenses is how much you need to run the clinic every month. So this chart is basically most of the big thing lah, the bigger thing that you need to see. So you need to find out how much is your monthly rental. Of course, if you're going to get a loan or you buy any instrument under leasing case, you need to know how much your repayment, and then how many staff you're going to hire, what's their salary, and your utilities, how much is it? You need to find that out. And the total of it will be your monthly expenses. Every month you need to prepare the money, right? So now you have your monthly expenses and your setup fund. So before you calculate the total money you need to start the clinic, your monthly expenses, you need to multiply by the bleeding month. Means when you start the clinic, for the first few months, most likely you are going to lose money. You won't have any business. So how many months are you going to lose money, right? So basically you have to prepare the money to keep your clinic going until it becomes profitable, right? So you have to times that, and that will be your, what we call the bleeding fund. The money that basically you just pay, and hoping that the sooner you will get your clinic to become profitable, right? So if you add these two up, that will be your startup fund. This is the money you need to start the clinic. Most of the time, dentists know about this. The setup fund means they know what to buy, how much money they need to rent a place to renovate, but they don't know about this. Because I would say most of the dental clinic, if they have enough bleeding fund, means they can lose money for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Most of the clinic can make it. If you are a decent dentist, you are nice to people, right? Most of the dental clinic I see that cannot survive is because they didn't prepare enough money to bleed. So your bleeding fund plus your setup fund, that will be your startup fund. This is the money you need. Then from your startup fund, then you have to start thinking, where are you going to get the money, right? It's a big sum of money, where are you going to get it? There are two big parts. One part is financing. Means, let's say, for example, you need 500,000. A part of them, you can get it from getting a loan. You can get it from leasing, buying your instrument. You can do hire purchase. And then another part will be your cash. This is the cash that you need to, whatever you cannot get from financing, you need to prepare it in cash, right? But you also have to take note that when you take a financing, a leasing and a loan, means that you are going into debt. Means that every month you have extra monthly expenses, and also increase on your cash that you need. So this don't forget about this, right? So this is basically how initially I calculate how much money I need to start the practice, right? Okay, so that was a short one. Is there any question in that part about money? Henry?
I want to ask about the bleeding month. How can you predict how long your bleeding period will be?
Yep. Okay. For bleeding months, your bleeding fund is always better to have more than less. So I myself did a mistake. How I do it is I have an idea on what clinic I want to set up. So then I visit different people with a similar dental clinic that I would like to set up, and I ask them how long was their bleeding month. And then I choose the longest one. Means maybe I ask one say he was bleeding for 3 months, and another person say he's bleeding for 6 months. So I prepare 6 months. And in the end, it seems like that wasn't the right way, because it turns out that I need more money than what I was preparing, right? So the new way that I think is more appropriate to prepare the bleeding fund is that you ask everybody how long they bleed for, and then you times 2. You multiply by 2. So that way is more safe. So in the other word, if you cannot get enough bleeding fund, don't start the clinic, because your failure rate will be higher. You always need to have some backup money. Henry, does that answer your question?
I want to ask you about the calculating. It means that the criteria of calculating every month expense or bleeding month or bleeding fund according to the real situation, that concept of the clinic should be established.
Come again, I didn't get you.
You got my question?
I didn't quite understand. Can you repeat, please?
Can you do you have an idea about the criteria? It means that the criteria to calculating the money spent or something, that money should be spent before start up the fund for the clinic practice, and according to the real situation, or according to the concept that your clinic, or the goal that your clinic gonna be.
Okay, I repeat your question, see whether I get the question correct or not. So you were asking, is there any criteria that when you calculating your startup fund, is there any criteria to have a more accurate estimation? Is that what you were asking for?
Yep.
That will depend. Every country is different. If let's say you're going to start a clinic that because you have seen another person do a clinic like that, that is the easiest way, so that you can just ask the person, and then whatever he's saying, that is probably accurate. But in another scenario, you want to open a very, very special clinic that not many people has done before, you don't know who to ask, it's probably worthwhile to still ask a lot of them, but then you add on maybe 20% or 30% on the estimation, because it's always better to estimate more than less. So I can say for Malaysia, but in Cambodia, I really don't have enough information to estimate on that. So you really have to know, the basic thing doesn't change much. Like dental chair, it doesn't change. The price for material doesn't change that much. The big difference is, are you going to pay extra percentage to your dentist? So that will change. So that one will add on to your expenses. Are you going to pay extra salary for staff compared to other people? So those will be extra. Are you going to renovate better? So you can split it up. So on operation side, you probably can follow the dentist, but if you want to renovate your clinic nicer, you probably can ask another business, let's say a spa, how much they spend to renovate. So maybe following the spa renovation is more accurate than following a dental clinic renovation. So there are a lot more in-depth research that you have to do if you are going to start a clinic that nobody has done before. Is that okay? Okay, good. Right. So let me close this. This one we've gone through already. And then, so we come to almost the end already. So this is a summary that I think these are the key points, and we have to get our mindset correct at this few points. The first is you really need to have a vision. You have to determine what direction your clinic is going to go, what sort of people you want to hire, what sort of customer you're going to see, right? Then you need to have a team. Team is extremely important. So find your team as early as possible, including your staff. So you cannot just simply hire somebody if you want to build a strong team. So you need to identify them earlier and then start talking to them already, influence them. And then customer, you need to start accumulating your customer. You can actually already accumulate your customer when you were still studying. When you're still studying, you might think that you cannot have customer, but actually you can. Basically what you do is, and you have to let everybody around you, like your relative, your friend, your high school friend, your primary school friend, you let them know that you are going to be a dentist. And then one of the day, some of them will have a problem. And because they know you are going to be a dentist, they will ask you who to see. So what you do now is you send them to a senior you trust, and you know that they are going to do a good job, they're going to take good care of your friend. You send your friends or relative to that dentist, and then you follow up with the dentist and your friend, and then you keep a record of the patient that you sent to them already. So the way I did it was I have in Google Drive, I have a folder for customer. Means every patient I send now, I talk to the dentist and then I say, I'm sending you this patient, but do you mind I keep a record of the patient history and also that clinical note? So usually they're okay because you're giving free patient to them, right? So you keep the record. And once you graduate, that is the time you go through all the patients you have, and then you start telling them that you come out already, they can come to see you. So this is how you accumulate customer even before you graduate. This will help you to shorten the time on the journey. Okay, and then the last part is money. Basically, these are the things you have to find out yourself. How much do you need in total? Means the startup fund. Where to get the money? Are you going to borrow the money or you get from your parents? What are you going to do? How are you going to get the money? And then how much cash do you need? So this I think we cover already. So we come to the end of the thing. So these are what I felt on the journey of starting your practice. Some of the day is going to be very bad. If you lose faith in yourself, what I do is I start thinking back what I've achieved in my life. Very small thing, simple thing. We learn how to read and write from scratch. We don't know how to speak, and then now all of a sudden, suddenly we can speak. It's not easy. From don't know how to drive a car, we can drive a car. To get into dentist school, it's not everybody can get into dentist school, but we did it. So those are things we achieve, right? So, and we become a dentist, or some of you are becoming a dentist. So these are the small things that you achieve in life. And think back at the time when you're just about to start, like the time when you start to learn to drive is a very difficult thing to do. But over the period, after a while, now you think back, oh, it's a very easy thing. So I think starting the clinic is the same. To start is always very scary, but when you step into the hole, somehow you will make it work, right? So starting a clinic is like a journey that filled with uncertainty, excitement, pride, failure, success, sleepless night. The sleepless nights can cause by good thing happen or bad thing happen, right? And also there are a lot of argument. Sometimes the argument is not with others. Sometimes it's yourself is arguing, trying to make a decision. You're arguing within yourself. There's a lot of responsibility. You're getting a loan. Your family are putting hopes on you. So it's a journey mixture with a lot of things, right? So, and if you really decide to go for it, then you have to stop doubting yourself. You have to really, when you go for it, you have to trust yourself. So you have to accept the challenge. You have to make decisions. The decision can be good or bad. You have to live with the result. Keep moving forward, right? So that concludes my presentation. Thank you for your attention. 谢谢.
Very much for sharing the very simplified and typical tips. Very practical for starting a dental clinic. May I know if there's any question from participant?
Yo, Billy, it's Fong here.
Hi, wait, how do I stop sharing the thing?
Not sure.
Henry, I think you have to do, you know.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yo, Billy.
Hey, Fong.
Hey, I want to ask, what is your vision since you were so emphasizing it?
My vision,
Yeah.
Quest Center's vision is to become one of the leading dental practice in ASEAN.
We have one question from UE. She asked
Please.
if you have any recommendation about having shareholder, I think.
I am not a big fan of shareholder unless you really have no other way to find the money. Because to start the clinic, especially it's your first clinic, you have to make a lot of decisions. Sometimes the accuracy of making the right and wrong decision is not as important as compared to making quick decision. Right? Like if you have a decision that every decision it takes you 1 month to make, your clinic will move. Sometimes it's easier to just make a decision when it's wrong and then you fix it again. So when you have too many shareholder, you're probably going to take 1 month to make one decision. Unless it's one in a million that you find really a good partner that you really align, then it's different story, but that is quite difficult. Even husband and wife, it's very difficult to achieve that. I think Peter can say. But shareholder, I went to one of the course that started by my accounting firm. It's always okay. It's always better to have one person that has the final say. And if let's say you're a shareholder, one person has the final say and the other agree to listen to that person and support that person, even though the person make the wrong decision. Right? Shit always happen when the decision become bad. When the decision is good, everybody, yeah, you are the best, well, good decision, go for it, no problem. But shit always happen when the decision turn into bad thing. So at that time, you have to make sure that the other shareholder supported you doesn't turn around and say, I told you so, you should have do it my way. So that is not healthy. And it's very difficult to get to that sort of trust. So I think starting, if money and funding is not a big problem, I think one shareholder is the way to go, at least for my experience.
So we have one more question from Pirong. How about having equal say in a business?
You always need a deal breaker. No, I mean a word breaker. Then you need to have three, right? Three shareholder. But then you have to think about it. If you are this one, you are actually. Can you see my camera?
Huh?
Can you see my camera?
Yes, yes, we can. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say you have three, and Pierum, you are this one, and then all of you have 33.33%, means 1/3 of the share. So Pierum, you are this one, and then you have B and C. So this seems to be a very good equal share situation, because every decision, whoever get 2 votes will win the thing. But there's also scenario that this one say one thing, this one say another thing, this one say another thing. So everything got 1 vote. So that is also a problem. And also there are times, because we are human, when this person want to get something through, this person know that Piron is not going to agree with it. This person will talk to the third person to gang out on Piron. So this also can happen, because when you're in a business, it's very different from friend having a drink outside, you know. So it's best to have 3. If you really have to have 3, in your shareholder agreement, you can actually put, let's say Pirum is the one that started the idea and everybody trusts Pirum. They can put it there that if there's a problem, Pirum's vote will have 1 extra percentage. It means Pirum has a final say on certain things. So it's good to always have a person that make the decision, especially when you just start the practice. Oh, yeah. Found it. Right.
So there's
Hello.
He also asked how to turn walk-in patient into your fan. Same question.
That one is actually Dr. Tay's strength.
Dr. Tay, do we have some input from you?
Dr. Tay, if you are using a earphone now, we cannot hear you speak, you know.
You can take out the earphone.
Peter, Dr. Tay. Okay, no mind. I'll try to answer. I can't say. I'll try to answer from what we do in Quest Dental. Most of the dental clinic in KL, they spend probably 30 minutes for a new patient. In Quest Dental, we always spend 45 minutes to more to an hour for the first appointment. So that will allow us to do a proper consultation, talking to them, what's their expectation. You make them feel that you are listening to them and you can give what they are asking for, right? So that first appointment helps to keep the patient. And it can also turn away patient, right? Because some patient come in, they just want to do a filling and they want to go off. They don't want to hear the dentist say so many things. So then you have to make a decision. Is those kind of patient your patient? If you don't want to see patient just come in and then want to do filling and then go off, then you have to give up those patients, right? So first appointment is very important. And then your follow-up is extremely important. Means in Quest Dental, we do care call. Means after a treatment, we will follow up with them. How do you feel? Even doing only scaling, we call every patient or we send message to every patient, check how they do. Is there any sensitivity? Is there any bleeding? Is the bleeding getting better? So for the care call, we do it in 3 different. We have 3 different care call. For simple one like filling or scaling, we call it care call 1. So it means we only call for 1 time. If let's say somebody do a deeper filling, come in with pain, we probably do care call 2, means we call twice. Once is within 24 hours and another time in 3 days. And then for surgery, any toothache, we probably do CC3, means care call 3. We call 3 times. We call 24 hours, 3 days, and 7 days. So these are the things that you can put in. And then you need to have a CRM, a customer relationship management system that you can put in, let's say the person have to come back in next 6 months. You have to have a system that notify you and let you know that in the 5th month that you have to call the patient to make an appointment for the 6th month. So this system always help, and then you have to train your nurse to do it. That the follow-up is very important, because most patient, if you don't call them, they won't come back. Then of course, the way you send message, the way you talk is also have an impact of whether you can turn the patient into a fan or not. So I think there are many ways to do it. One of the good thing to do is learn from the hotel. Like you can, if you don't know how to talk to patient or learn from the hotel, learn from the airline, and then if some very good dental clinic, you can learn from them. But then in general, the hotel and anyone in the service industry is always better to learn from than a dentist in terms of customer relationship. Peter, we can't hear you. I think he's speaking, but we can't hear him.
Listening your talking, listening your talking.
No, he's talking on your presentation, like content, how many points.
Probably.
And watching idol touching the nose.
Naro have a question, right? Naro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just want to ask from your personal points of view, are you interested in hire freshly graduated dentists? From your personal points of view.
Yes, actually. Yes.
So what is your tip how to make a good use of freshly graduated dentists?
First, you have to get to know the dentist before he even graduate. So you know, because if I get it correctly, the reason why you ask this question is because when the fresh graduate dentist come in, there's very little thing that they can do. And the clinic had to spend a lot of time to train the person. So whether it's worth it.
Right.
So the answer is nobody knows. Nobody knows. There's nobody can guarantee 100%, but you can increase the possibility that if you know the dentist for 3 years already, they're joining association, you see the way they do work. Skill is secondary because skill you can train them. If their attitude is good, you can always train them. So what you are looking for is good attitude. So going to the student association like Empowering Dentistry, I'm sure here most of the people, their attitude is quite good. If not, they will spend extra time to do all this association work. So these are one of the key things you can look at. Last time, Dr. Tay used to tell me his old clinic, they meet all the dental student, first year dental student, even before they start the school.
Wow.
So his clinic, and then they will pick, oh, this one is quite good. So over the 5 years or 4 years of dental school, once in a while they will keep in touch with them, see how they are progress. So from there they already start gauging this is going to be a good person, this is going to be not, like that.
Yeah, very interesting. But why do you think that attitude is the most important one? Why is it the most on the top priorities?
Because
why
attitude is
attitude?
difficult to change.
Oh, okay.
Every other thing is easy to change. So add on to that, after you have the dentist, it's good to have, like now I haven't have a complete one, but I'm still modifying. You always have to have a training program because it's good for you to have a training program like 3 months. Everybody go through this training program. After 3 months, they can function in your clinic already. It means they can start producing already. If 3 months they still cannot do, you give them 1 month, and 6 months is your cut-off point. If 6 months they still don't pass, they are off. So you need to sort of have a system like that.
Okay. Thank you so much, Billy. Thank you so much.
No, thank you for the question.
Yeah.
I have another question from the participant. He wants to ask about your idea in running the clinic at this period of time, the COVID. What kind of problem are you facing and what solution do you have?
Right. That depends on the stage of your clinic, right? Because different stage of your clinic will face different problem and require different solution. This one is actually the topic I was discussing with my accountant 2 weeks ago. In my stage of Quest Dental, we're just starting. We are still losing money. So there's very little thing we can cut. We cannot cut the rental. We don't do this because our expenses is already almost at the minimum. So instead of cutting, we have to think of how to get more patient or prepare when the COVID is over, how to get the patient back. So these are the things we focus on. But let's say if you are a bigger dental clinic, bigger chain, the immediate solution probably you have to cut costs. You have to, because you have so many dentists and suddenly you got no patient, you have to feed many dentists. Whereas for my case, I have only myself, so I can afford not to pay myself. But if you are a big clinic, then probably you know what to cut because in a big clinic, every small thing you cut is a big number. So it depends on what situation of your clinic is.
Is there any other question?
Hey Billy, it's been a while.
Right.
I have a question. Since Naro asked about how to recruit dentists. Yeah. So does the same apply to recruiting staff, like your systems? How do you find them? Like you mentioned before about networking, but in depth, and like on what criteria do you seek in your staff?
Okay, that depends on your vision of your practice. Let's say if you are going to do a chain practice, so the quality of staff you require probably slightly lower. I'm not saying it's not important, but you might require lower. So you have a set of different criteria. Probably you need to know somebody that can speak English because you open in certain area. You want to have somebody that can work certain office hour because your office is opening for long hours. So those are the criteria you have to put it down. Then you also have to think of the brand of your clinic. For example, in Quest Dental, although we are in Malaysia, we try not to hire, even if Malay, we try not to hire people that wear the scarf, the head scarf, because we are seeing quite a few of foreigners. So that doesn't match with our image, because foreigners, when they come in, although they are not intentionally, but they see when people wear scarf, they have a different impression. So those are one of the criteria. But those are what we call the hard criteria, right? Then you have the soft criteria, which is their attitude. If you are going into really focusing a lot on service, you probably have to hire somebody that really care for other people, a very caring person. You want to hire somebody can speak a little bit better, so that they can communicate better with the customer, so that the requirement for speaking skill become higher. So this one, there's no definite answer. You need to have your own criteria, and the criteria will depend on your vision. Then based on the criteria, you need to set up what are the few criteria is you cannot compromise. For example, you cannot hire somebody that don't know how to speak English, or you cannot hire somebody that don't know how to use a computer. You need somebody who know how to use a computer. So you set the key criteria, and then every other criteria you categorize them to which are important, which are less important, which are the bonus. If you have, is very good. If you don't have, doesn't matter. So that will form a very unique and personalized guideline for your practice.
I see. Okay, yeah, I think that should be okay.
I have another question regarding to opening a dental clinic, because I think it will be interesting to hear your points of view for the juniors, because I think many dentists, many dental students, they want to own their dental clinic, right? Almost every, but it might not be the best solution for them, because people, they have different environment, different quality, different skill. So for you, what was your vision that you need to start your own practice to fulfill your vision?
I think the reason before I applied for dental school, my first ambition, means my first career that I was choosing was to go into music, to I don't know, like to be an artist or pianist, something like that. But then my parents sat me down. But that time I was thinking about dentistry also. So first is music, second is dentistry. So my parents sat me down and then we will start discussing. They say, you're okay if you really want to go into music. Then they ask me a magical question. They say, can you sit in front of the piano for 6 to 10 hours every day to practice piano? And then I say, no, not going to happen. So then they say it's going to be very difficult because in Malaysia, that industry, you need to be really, really good to make money. So then I got into dentistry. Right? So during my interview to dental school, one of the questions, of course, every school asks you is, why do you choose dentistry? So that time my answer was, if eventually, don't know when I start my own clinic, I have a stable income, stable working time, I can open whenever I want, I can close whenever I want. So of course that then appear to be not true anymore now, but at that time I already decided to open a clinic. It's just a matter of time. So when I believe in law, when you believe that you're going to do something, somehow you will find people that influence you to the certain direction. So I guess because from there, I decided to go to that direction. And then I met people like Peter and then everyone in DGN, and I met Henry. So all of this has an impact on my decision. So for a young graduate, it's really, you have to think it through. I'm not saying you shouldn't open your clinic, but you have to think it through because it's a big step to open a clinic. And only you can answer yourself whether you can do it or not. The other people can give you opinion, but then in the end, you are the one that have to make the decision. Because if you make the decision, you open a clinic and the clinic doesn't work, there's nobody to blame. You cannot say that, oh, because my friend told me to do this, I shouldn't have listened to my friend. You can't say that because it already happened and it's your decision to make. And it's a decision with a long commitment.
I think he's trying to say something.
Peter, you probably have to try to get on Zoom with your phone and speak properly. Wait, hold on.
Yes.
Now you're speaking. Were you speaking or not?
I'm just watching you all perform.
Okay. Now we all can hear you. Okay.
Okay, thank you. But I'm not going to say anything. This is your show.
You're my guest, or no? You're Henry's guest.
Yeah, you are our guest, special guest for today. We would love to hear some input from you.
Guests do not say anything.
You are VIP. You are VIP.
Oh, never mind. Carry on. It's good. You're doing well, all of you.
Okay. At least we hear his voice.
But at least we hear his voice. It's good.
Can I have a question, please, Billy? It's
Yeah.
been a while. Good to see you again.
Hi, Hank. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, just like Henry mentioned before, it's just a dream for every dental student to open their own clinic. But as we are young, a fresh graduate, so is there anything like we have to get well prepared before we open and running our own business? Do you have point of view from your point of view? Like many points we have to prepare.
Yeah. So the first thing is not everybody wants the clinic, but I mean most of them lah. But the first key thing to prepare is money. if you have enough money to hold on to the clinic, you usually will make it, whether it's 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 years, or 10 years. Somehow you make it. So that is the key important thing. And second thing, which is also equally important, is do you have or do you believe that you're going to have patient or not? If you don't think you have enough patient, do you have a strategy to get patient or not? And are those strategies reliable or not? So those strategy you probably have to discuss with your senior who have opened a and they probably will give you some idea whether your strategy will work or not. And then you have to decide on that. And then the third, of course, is a team, right? A team. If you decide to go for a group practice, you need to have a team. If you decide to go for a solo practice, then you really need to work on your finance. How many patients you have to see recover from the investment that you make, right? If you cannot find the answer of how to get enough patients to pay for their and still make a profit, then don't start a clinic. So all of this leads to, stop knocking your phone, please. In the end, all of it goes back to money, because when you decide to start the clinic, it's business already. Business is about profit and loss. So if you don't have a team, you're going to spend time to look for a team. When you're spending time, you're spending money. If you don't have patience, you're spending time to do marketing, and spending time doing marketing is money, right? So you need to do that very well and get a good relationship with a few of the. You see, when I say team to open a clinic, there are two parts of the team. One is the clinical team. The clinical team is your admin, your general manager, or if you have, you probably don't need, then your staff, your dentist, those are the clinical team. But you also have another team, is your business team. On the business team, you have the person who borrow you money. You have your interior designer, you have your lab, you have your contractor who do your renovation, you have your landlord, you have your accountant. So those are the resources you have to prepare before you even start the clinic, because those are the business person they're going to help you in your operation, and also supplier. So probably if you can get those things ready, it will shorten your time, because if you have those things ready, when you start the clinic, you can fully focus on getting patient and then doing patient already. But if you don't have those things ready, when you start the clinic, you still have to think, oh, where to buy stuff? Who is my accountant? How do I do my accounting? So these two teams, you have to get it ready, and money.
Okay, yes, most importantly is money. All right. Really thank for your answer. Very clear. Yep. Thanks for answering my question. Good.
Thanks. Any more?
Or not? Do you have any question?
If not, I probably can. One last thing we can do is, if you all can look at my screen, I can show you around my clinic a little bit, because just now are photos. So I'm turning on my phone. Then you can look at the screen on the phone. That's the other me. So.
Hi, Billy and Billy.
Yep. Nah. Right. So, can you all hear me? Henry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, can hear.
So basically, when you walk in, you see Joy. Joy is also listening to us.
Hello, Joy.
And then this is where I was sitting, the living room. And then if you go to the right, this is the piano, in case I get too lonely and boring. So here there's like a tunnel it separates the treatment area and the waiting area. The idea behind it is that we provide more privacy, so whoever is inside the treatment room, they know that they are not being watched, and whoever is sitting in the waiting area, they don't get nervous because they are hearing drill sound or feeling sound or screaming. So it creates a separation. Then this is my office. So this is how it looks like. It's a bit messy now. So this is where we came from just now. So if you go down, this is the treatment area. So here is where we do our first consultation. It should have a table, but the table was moved to the living area for the conference. So this is how it looks like. And then those elephants are from Cambodia. I think a small elephant also from Cambodia. And then, so if you go back into here on the left side, there are 3 surgeries. This is how we do. And then Peter I actually consult Dr. Tay on the design a lot, because what's a little bit different is we have this trolley system. So when we do treatment, all the instrument is here. We don't put the instrument on the dentist side. So the dental assistant will pass the instrument to the dentist. It actually helps to speed up the process. That one, if you're interested, you can engage Dr. Tay to give a lecture on forehand dentistry. So second room, very similar. Every room is the same. The idea of having the same room is because we don't want to have one dentist is using this room or the other is using the other room. Every room has to be the same. The dentists come in, they have to follow our system. So every room they go in, they know how to use the room. So this is the third room. At the moment it's empty. We'll add up something else. And that's another elephant. It's stuck in the wall. And yeah, there's Uncle Wat. And then washroom. Washroom. We try to keep a dry floor. And then up to here, this is what we call the patient area. Up to here, this is where the patient would see. Then anything behind this door would be the pantry. So basically that it is. And then this is the sterilization room. Yep. So, yep, that's about it for the clinic. I'll go back to my computers.
I think we should vote to see if Billy should play piano for all of us as an ending.
Like what? Piano. Oh no, not going to happen today.
Actually, I just noticed something from the participant. We have 4 teams of organization. We have ED, we have DGN, we have APDSA, and Dental Student Circle.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we have all 4 teams. And
wow.
That's great.
Oh.
Cheers.
So, yes. Yes. Okay. Hey, how do you do that? Huh? You give the...
It's a reaction. And
I pick the reactions.
Oh, reaction. Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. Oh my goodness. Why Sarah got different color hand? Okay. I mean, thanks guys for listening. It's not super smooth because the slide was just finished last night. I had some ideas, but then the actual slide was done actually yesterday. So it could be improved a little bit, but I hope it helps.
Yeah.
And the number is not the real number that is happening in Cambodia. You have to go find out and fill in your own number, your research.
I believe we all think it was a very good presentation, very practical.
Thank you.
So is there anyone want to ask any more questions?
Wait, I just want to ask one question. Just want to get it off from my chest. I mean, so far, what is the biggest struggle for you as an owner of one dental clinic?
The struggle.
What is the most difficult things for you to own one dental clinic?
Man, everything is difficult. You know?
Nothing? Nothing?
Everything is difficult.
Oh.
Because I wouldn't say it's biggest difficulty, but the constant challenge for this period up to now is to keep believing in myself and also the team, because there's good thing and bad thing about having only one shoulder. When you are the only person that is holding the shoulder, everything is on you, which is a good position to be in, because everything that happened in the clinic, that is my fault. If let's say today the staff didn't prepare something, it's my fault. If today the toilet is not clean, it's my fault because I didn't put in the system. If let's say there's a dentist come in, they do something is wrong, it's my fault because I hire them. So it's a but the price is you will be put into tremendous pressure, and sometimes you will question yourself, and those are the time that is difficult, and it happens very often. So sometimes good, sometimes bad, and sometimes you can overcome it, sometimes you cannot. So how can you stay believe in yourself? I think that is the constant and very big challenge, because you are in a good mood. And have you ever tried you do two very similar things on 2 different days, like let's say molar root canal. One day your mood is very good, everything goes fantastic.
I can feel it. Okay.
One day you feel like shit, and then you just fucked up everything, and it's the exact same case. So it's the same when you start a clinic. How to keep yourself in a very good mood and positive is important, and that will reflect on who do you hang around with, because those people become very, very important when you are starting to question yourself. So you need to surround yourself with positive people and truthful people.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, Billy.
Yo.
Can you hear me?
Yes, hi, Sarah.
I have a question. It's about the team. If you have a team, what is your core value to get them to work together? As you mentioned, to get the team well in the clinic, you need everyone to work.
Yeah.
But as you know that everyone have a different perspective, especially a dentist.
Yes.
When it comes to things in the clinic. So what is your point to bring them together?
Yes. I don't have a value for the team, but I have values for the whole clinic, which every aspect of the clinic has to sort of adopt the value. So Quest QEST stands for Q. It stands for quality. So quality, it means the treatment, the renovation, the people have to have good quality, overall quality. So this is one. U stand for unity, means the team. So we always say that you join Quest Dental, you need to have your self-interest. Means you need to know the reason why you join Quest Dental, so that we, as a Quest Dental, we can give you what you want. If you have to let us know you want to learn something, or you come here for money, which is okay, which is we are happy when you say you come in for money, so that so it makes it very easy. I will tell you how to make money, and then if you do it, then it's also good for a clinic. So unity means before you come in, you need to have your self-interest. You need to know what you're in for. But when you're in the team, anything regarding the dental clinic, your decision making should be the team come first, and then you come second. So these are very clear before a person join us. So if they don't agree, they probably won't join the clinic, right? So if they agree, then they join the clinic. If something happened, argument happened, then we can go back to that, because we say, hey, last time we talked about that before you agree to put the team first. Therefore you join in the practice. So these have to be said before. And it's very hard to do this over just one conversation. That's why I say when you hire somebody, you need to spend time with the person so that you understand them, they also understand you. So U stand for unity, and then E stand for education. Everybody is everyday improving. Continuing education is very important. S stand for sincerity. Sincerity means you have to be honest to yourself and other people and patients. So you have to be sincere to everything. When you think you're fucked up, you have to tell you have to be okay to your team know that you fucked up, and also your patient that you fucked up. If you are doing well, you have to also know that, oh, actually doing not bad, so that the team also can recognize you. So sincerity is very important. And then T, the last thing is tenacity, because we sort of set a high vision, means to be one of the leading practice in ASEAN. So there will be challenges. So tenacity is very important to stay on track and then never give up. That's so that those are the value that we have for Quest Center.
Thank you so much for your explanation. It's very nice, and your presentation is amazing. I like it.
Thanks for listening, and good to see you again. It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Actually, I almost go there, but because of the COVID, I got canceled the plan to Malaysia.
Oh, I see. Probably end of the year, because it seems like DGN is also going to be postponed because of this. We probably will start the whole thing with the symposium first, but we'll see when the restriction end and how it is like for the region, because this also affect the other country.
Yes.
Oh, Ing have to go. Okay, bye, Ing. Want to see the screen to run the whole clinic. I see whether I can log in or not. There's a question that he want to see the program. Wait, let me open it up first. At the meantime, if there's an other question, would be nice to answer while I'm waiting to open that up.
Actually, I have one simple question. So why did you name your dental clinic Quest Dental? Quest Dental, no center, no studio. Is there any special meaning?
At first, not really, because at first you don't really have a very clear exact thing. So there are a few options. There are Quest, there are ABC, but about we chose Quest is because I think it matches with the type of clinic, the feeling we want to do. And Quest is a very, to us, we believe that it's a very progressive word. It means you are trying to achieve something, Quest. So we like the feeling of Quest. So we stick to it, and then we slowly to discover more and then putting more meaning in it. And then after that, we decided, okay, this is the right name. So we choose Quest.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, now we have, yeah, it's the Who is that? Hey, how do I pronounce his name? Bun Long.
Bun Long. He is one of our seniors.
Oh, Bun Long. Okay. So I'll share my screen. Screen.
Wow.
Sorry, there's a lot of things. So basically, this is the panel. This system is called XDEN. XDEN is quite good. Sorry, it's very messy. XDEN is quite good because the panel is only on top. So then you have patients, agenda. It has a built-in CRM. So this is quite good, and it's not that expensive. In Malaysia, we started with 2 users, means at the same time there's only 2 computers can log in. So 2 users. Every month we are paying about 120 or 130 ringgit, and every extra user is 50 ringgit. So that in turns to USD is 20 to 30 USD. For a system with a CRM, with a communication center, with a customer relationship management system, plus accounting. The accounting is quite good. You can do invoice, you can do report, you can generate your revenue, you can find out how much money you haven't collected. Sometimes you do with Canal, you collect half only, the other half you haven't collected. So they have all sort of report. They even have report on how many patients cancel, how many patients late, how many appointment change, every dentist, what's their performance. So for the function with only 20 to 30 USD a month is quite reasonable. It's called XDEN. I'm not sure in Cambodia got on. So XDEN looks like this. xden.exe. Yeah. So
Their license to foreign clinic.
Sorry?
Do they issue their license to foreign clinic?
I think they probably do, but then the problem is when you use a system, there's always problems. So you need to have a support. Of course, now most of the time, how they support me is through TeamViewer, means they can control my computer and then they do their own thing. So I think with that function, overseas can do it. But again, it's always good to have a local office, that you have a physical office in a local, so you can, if anything, you can set up a meeting to solve the problem.
Is the app is using a cloud data, or it go locally or online?
They have options. They have cloud and server. So usually when you start, probably cloud is better because it's cheaper. Because server the starting up cost is expensive. You need to buy a computer with a certain spec, and then the installation also very different. They're both. The answer to your question is both.
Okay.
So do they have to come and set up the program like directly physically, or like you can just download it and run the program?
Theoretically, no, they don't need to come to you. But I like to meet the person before I buy something. So they came over and then they show me, like supplier come to see you. So they show me how it is like. But after that, every store is by virtual. They just use TeamViewer and then log on to computer. Even installing the program on my other computer, they just on TeamViewer they can install for me.
Oh, I see.
It's quite convenient. Now I think most software company, even like the people that's doing my IT, they are doing all on virtual. And now TeamViewer is quite reliable. It's very fast. I remember last time when the connection is not so good, you use TeamViewer, there's a lot of lagging, but now no, not anymore.
I see. Thanks.
I think we will do one final question before we end.
Yep.
Is there any other question? We can take one final question.
When is the next lecture?
You ask Henry.
The better question, who's
Henry
gonna host the next lecture? DGN, Dental Circle, APSA?
If you ask Dr. Tay will ask you how much.
Yeah.
So I'm not asking him directly.
But you still need to pay. Okay.
Later he will text you. You didn't pay him for him to be here.
He will send you the TV. Okay, I think that's it.
Okay, thank you everyone. Appreciate. Enjoy myself. Hope you all.
I want to thank especially Dr. Kelly for taking the time to share, to prepare the slide. Applause. Because actually I only told Billy about the presentation 3 days ago, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 days ago. Because you said you will have more free time these days, this week, right?
Yeah, these 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't sure whether they're going to extend the restriction or not.
So we discussed about what we want to share, and this is a topic that he wants to share to us. And it's a very interesting and practical topic. And when really, how long do you need to prepare the slide? He said 1 night.
No, it took longer than 1 night.
So maybe we can do another presentation tomorrow. You can prepare another slide tonight.
You're going to take my happy hour away.
And also, I would like to thank Dr. Peter Tay for accepting the invitation to sit and listen. Would love to hear your feedback.
Peter, yeah, Dr. Tay, they're asking you.
Yeah.
Okay, it's gone.
Okay, thank you everyone else for taking the time to join. Hope to see you next time.
Okay, thank you everyone for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, have a good day.
You take another selfie?
Your presentation.
Another selfie? Another selfie, yeah?
Yeah, let's
okay.
do a selfie. Everyone who wants, please turn on your video.
Oh, I'm half naked. How can I turn my video?
It's okay.
It's okay.
Oh, yes.
Joy says she want to see. My assistant Joy says she want to see.
Okay, just my head.
Joy, turn on your video.
Yes, Kelly.
Take a picture.
Kelly is off today.
How is Dr. Billy?
Good. There's Joy.
Everyone?
Joy, you're mute.
Okay, wait.
There we go. See, photo session.
Feedback.
Harry, come.
Oh, I forgot. I mute myself. Okay, I'll count to 3.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Yes.
See you next time.
All right. See you next time.
Okay, have a good
If you
day.
come to Malaysia, do let us know. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Bye bye. Ciao, ciao.
Thanks, Billy.
Ciao, ciao.